Are you thinking about moving to Florida? It can be a great place to live, but there are definitely some things you might wish you knew before making the move. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the good and the bad of life in Florida. So let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Meral Ibrahim here, broker associate with Coldwell Banker Realty in the beautiful Palm Beaches, Florida. If you're already a fan of the Palm Beaches, or if you're just starting to explore this beautiful region, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos and can join me as I explore everything the Palm Beaches has to offer. I can't wait to share more about this amazing place with you. If you're considering a move to the Sunshine State, there are a few things you might wish you knew beforehand. From the heat and humidity to the crowded beaches and intense bugs, there are some unique challenges to living in Florida. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. Florida is also home to beautiful beaches, delicious food, and a unique culture and lifestyle. In this video, we'll explore some of the things you might wish you knew before moving to Florida, including the weather, cost of living, traffic, and more. Whether you're a seasoned Floridian or a newcomer to the state, I hope this information helps you navigate the ins and outs of living in the Sunshine State. Here are 10 things you might wish you knew beforehand. One thing you might not expect about living in Florida is how hot and humid it can get. It's no secret that Florida is known for its warm weather, but if you're not used to it, the combination of high temperatures and high humidity can be a real challenge. Trust me, you'll want to invest in a good air conditioning system and stay hydrated. It also helps to wear lightweight, breathable clothing and use sunscreen regularly to stay comfortable in the heat. You really don't want to be caught off guard by the Florida heat. 2, one thing you'll definitely want to be prepared for if you're living in Florida is storm season. Believe me, it's a real thing. Florida is prone to severe weather, especially during the summer months, and hurricanes and thunderstorms can really mess things up. They can cause significant damage and disrupt daily life, so it's important to have a plan in place in case of an emergency. This could include an evacuation route, a supply of non-perishable food and water, and a secure place to store important documents and valuables. 3, if you're not used to driving in heavy traffic, prepare yourself for some frustration when you move to Florida. The highways here can be a real nightmare, especially during rush hour. Be prepared for long commute times and try to plan accordingly. One tip is to consider using public transportation or carpooling to save time and reduce stress. And of course, make sure you're familiar with the state's traffic laws, including the use of toll roads and the requirement to yield to pedestrians in crosswalks. You'll want to be prepared for Florida's traffic to avoid being caught off guard. 4, something you might not expect about living in Florida is that the cost of living can be high, even though the housing is generally affordable. Just be prepared for higher prices on groceries, gas, and other necessities, especially in major cities like Miami and Orlando. It's a good idea to budget carefully and shop around for the best deals to save money. The cost of living in Florida can be a real surprise if you're not prepared for it. You don't want to be caught off guard on this one. 5, something you might not expect about living in Florida is how intense the bugs can be. I'm talking about everything from mosquitoes to palmetto bugs. Honestly, they can be a real nuisance. If you've never seen a palmetto bug, it is a large cockroach that can fly. You'll want to be prepared to invest in bug spray and other pest control measures like screens on windows and doors and regular exterminator visits. It's also important to be aware of the potential for insect-borne illnesses like Zika and West Nile virus and take steps to protect yourself and your family. Do some research on Florida bugs so you won't freak out when you move here. 6. One thing you'll definitely want to be prepared for when living in Florida is crowded beaches. I mean, it's no secret that Florida has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, but they can get pretty crowded during peak season. If you want to avoid the crowds, you'll want to plan accordingly, whether that means visiting during the off-season or going early in the morning. And of course, be aware of the potential for rip currents and other hazards, and always swim with a buddy and follow posted safety guidelines. Take note, you don't want to be caught off guard by Florida's crowded beaches. 7. Something you might not expect about living in Florida is how seriously the locals take their sports. I mean, Florida is home to a number of professional sports teams, and trust me, the locals are passionate about their teams. You might want to consider becoming a fan of the local teams or be prepared for a lot of sports talk. If you're not really interested in sports, it's probably best to politely decline invitations to watch games or avoid conversations about sports altogether. I mean, you don't want to be caught off guard by Florida's sports culture. 8. Something else you might not expect about living in Florida is how amazing and also dangerous the wildlife can be. I mean, Florida is home to a variety of wild animals, from alligators to snakes, and they can be dangerous if you're not careful. It's important to be prepared to encounter wild animals and always be cautious when hiking or exploring the outdoors. Follow posted signs and guidelines and never approach or harass wild animals. And of course, be aware of the potential for animal-borne illnesses like Lyme disease and rabies, and take steps to protect yourself and your family. Again, you don't want to be caught off guard by Florida's wild animals. 9. Another thing you might not expect about living in Florida is how delicious and also spicy the food can be. I mean, Florida is known for its seafood and Latin cuisine, and trust me, the flavors can be intense. Not all restaurants offer mild options, so be prepared to spice things up a bit. If you're not a fan of spicy food, it's probably best to ask for milder options or order dishes with less spice. And of course, be aware of potential food allergies and take steps to protect your family and yourself. Ask the server how spicy the food is before you order anything spicy. 10. Something you might not expect about living in Florida is how diverse the state is. I mean, one of the things that makes Florida so special is its melting pot of cultures and diverse population. From the laid-back beach culture of the Keys to the vibrant energy of Miami, there is something for everyone in Florida. You'll never be bored if you embrace the unique blend of people and experiences that Florida has to offer. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on all that Florida has to offer. In conclusion, moving to Florida can be a big change, especially if you're coming from a place with a different climate and culture. From the heat and humidity to the crowded beaches and intense bugs, there are some unique challenges to living in the Sunshine State. But don't let these challenges discourage you. Florida is also home to beautiful beaches, delicious food, and a unique culture and lifestyle. By being prepared for the heat and storms, budgeting carefully, and embracing the local culture, you can make the most of your move to Florida. Whether you're a seasoned Floridian or a newcomer to the state, I hope these tips helped you navigate the ins and outs of living in the Sunshine State. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and it was helpful in some way. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the resource library in the description. Everything is free. Hope you're having a wonderful day and see you in the next video. Bye.